If you see the Patagonia, Las Torres, or you can swim with shark, you can swim with Galapagos turtles, and maybe even go to all the places that you've never visited in your lifetime. Like what could happen was much bigger than what if we fail, right? The only way to know if something is right for you is to try it and experiment it. Backpacking the world was our one big memory dividend of our lifetime. Other friends? So 2 years ago at 30, me and my partner Jess, we packed our bags. We left everything behind to backpack the world, more specifically South America and Africa. So 14 months together. You might think that you're crazy or you're privileged, but I can tell you that I'm definitely not. And I never knew I could be this free until I actually did it. So here's what I wish I knew, and I want to share this journey with you. My name is Taka, and I'm 32-year-old self-employed management consultant in Japan, but who's living in Hong Kong at the same time. And weekend content creator. I'm on my mission to experiment my lifestyle journey. I hope to share my journey and what I wish I knew before when I was 20 or younger. So what does being free actually mean to you? So before leaving, I thought freedom meant having more time or money, right? You would think about being free means financially independent, you're free, you're retired, so you can travel the world. That's what I used to think. But I learned that the freedom is actually a mindset. It's about giving your permission to free yourself to do what you want in life and choose how you live. I was waiting for that moment, and then I had that thought in 20s, but I didn't do it. And 30, and that time had come with a decision that we made. And then the moment we realized was that it was a book called Die with Zero. I'm sure this is a really famous concept. Let me show you this. Die with Zero refers to a philosophy that encourages people to spend their money intentionally and meaningful experiences throughout their lives, aiming to have minimal wealth left when they die, essentially maximizing the enjoyment of their money while they are still alive, rather than just accumulating wealth for future, right? Actually, many people assume this book is for the rich people. You will only get to do this when you have more money, the retirement and everything. But how we understood this is that you're making money because you want to do something. Money is essentially a tool for you to achieve something or do what you want with your life, right? So if you just wait until retirement, and there's absolutely so many things that you are going to miss, especially when you're younger. You have that energy to see the world and explore what you have never seen in life, because we were living in such a small, for me, I lived in Japan, I lived in Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, but actually when we moved out of Tokyo to the seaside, every day I was looking at this Mount Fuji, and I remember I was so touched. I was so happy every day. And I thought to myself, there's a lot of things that you're still not seeing. The world is massive, right? This book, Bill Perkins mentioned, is that you need to time bucket your life. The time bucketing means teenage year, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. You have a time bucket for each age group. And so for us, it was 30. So what is it that you will not do this at the later part of life? What is it that you can only do at 30s? And me and my partner, we've always talked about traveling to somewhere far, South America and Africa. We have never really seen that before. Okay, we're actually not going to do this at our 40s or 50s later on. Then this is the last chance that we're doing this, is what we thought. We decided to do it, and you might ask, how do we afford this? It's going to cost a lot of money. So we decided to save about 5 million Japanese yen. And actually we spent about $8 million for that trip for the entire year, actually. When you have a certain goal that you want to achieve, when you have the clarity, your how becomes really, really easy for you. So we naturally started, we have revenues and income. We just put a large amount into our account. Yeah, I cut unnecessary expenses and everything, right? So your focus is just to save that money for that project of traveling the world. So naturally you will spend less money on things that doesn't matter to you. Biggest shift is realizing that I was trading time for money and never used that money for time. What were the biggest surprises? The biggest surprises for us, for me at least, was what we planned ahead of all these perfect plan really was always changing, and life actually opens up when you start moving. So don't worry too much about it. Just start moving and think along the way. I think I expected to find myself, but what I actually really found was clarity. So that's one. Traveling the world really gives you that kind of small successes to your confidence and sort of give you more space to think what you want to do, because every day you're making decision to where do you go, how do you go, and what kind of problem should we be aware of, right? So ultimately that kind of decision making every day, it was a survival. We had to make a lot of ton of decisions just to live and achieve that goal of going to places that you really want to go, seeing the animals that you want to see. And another example for me, we were running out of budget quite fast. At some point, I was trying to offer my videography to some hotels and hostels that were also looking for some services. I noticed, wow, some people are actually waiting to be discovered as well. It's kind of like similar in businesses, right? That people don't always post their needs and stuff, but you can always try to find them. That was the really biggest surprise, is that I have my niche that I can offer my service and make people happy with it. I ever regret it? I think some moments were tough. Uncertainty, money problem, feeling lost, not really, because we were so in present. It was sometimes difficult to survive in South America and Africa at the same time. So I didn't really have the time to feel lost. But of course, sometimes when you're bored and when you don't make decision, I started to have that kind of fear creeping in your mind as well. Luckily, my partner is also very good at that. She stayed focused and she often pulled me out of this rut. And so, yeah, I think we were okay with that too. It was one of the best thing that we did in our life. So no regrets for sure. There are some times I really wanted to go home. I was so tired. We had to deal with bribery and people trying to make money out of you. When you compare to these negative things and the positive things that we've actually experienced, the things that we saw, the good food that we had, the people that we encountered and communicated with, it's just like all these what if we fail, and like what could happen was much bigger than what if we fail, right? So definitely no regret of taking this path. And now if you ask us, we're already back in Hong Kong, Japan working. My partner is already back in product manager role and I'm back in self-employed consulting, and we're just back into the regular life. I think what I wish I knew from this, let me go back. What I learned from this entire trip is I never knew I could be this free, and I never thought about this. You have all these societal expectation and all the fear and all the perfection that you have in mind. This is really stacking up in your brain that you can no longer make that decision to step out of your comfort zone and do something that matters to you. So it's getting over that fear that you have in your brain. But what I suggest you to do is that take that moment to imagine, what if we actually do this? What are the great things that would happen to you, right? So you need to sort of rewire your brain and then tell yourself that this is amazing thing is going to happen. That is why for our backpacking trip, we had to do a bucket list of all the places that we wanted to go, right? So then you get excited about, well, what if you see the Patagonia, Las Torres, or you can swim with shark, you can swim with Galapagos turtles, and maybe even go to all the places that you've never visited in your lifetime, right? Yeah, so that's something you really don't need more information. You have it all. When you're interested, you're trying to solve that problem or your fear that you have by surfing on the internet, listening to what other people are telling you, but you already know the solution in you, which is to take that one step to do what matters to you, right? So I think that's exactly what it means to be free. Taking that step out of your comfort zone. Taking a step out of your comfort zone is for sure, but what's more important is always imagine the possibility instead of the limitation. Limitation, risk, you can extract the risk and all the fear that you have in mind and then try to logically solve it. If it's the money problem, save up your money. If you're going to travel and you come back, nobody wants to hire you again, what are the worst things that would happen to you? Is it really happening? Backpacking the world was our one big memory dividend of our lifetime. This backpacking experience had actually enabled me to even think about the more possibilities of what I can do. And I'm starting to kind of rewire my brain to change the mindset to offer what I can do for people. So just like this YouTube as well, it's something that I come up with after coming back from the backpack. I'm doing this YouTube because I feel there are experiences or the niche that I have in me that I have not released to the world. And I'm trying to frame this into problem solving for people like me who have the experiences back in time, but no one taught you how to do this. And my mindset is, I hope I can build this habit of creating YouTube to someone's problem in the world. And I think that's the biggest energy in me why I'm doing this YouTube as well. I think the biggest mistake is that waiting for someday to happen. So if you ever feel stuck, I get it, but the only way to know if something is right for you is to try it and experiment it. If you ever have any question that I'm more than happy to share my experience as well. What's one thing that you've always wanted to do? Let me know in the comment. It's time to experiment it. Let me know what is that one thing that you've already done. If you have, let me know in the comment as well. Yeah, that's all from me. And as always, let's live the life that you always want to live. Until then, see ya.